Namaste, my name is Dhieyo and welcome to my channel. Today we'll talk a little about cannabis. What role does cannabis play in spirituality or in our general life? There's so much, especially a lot of people who are in the spiritual line who want to know about spirituality are very influenced by sadhus, especially doing a lot of smoking a lot of marijuana. So now we stick to the word cannabis because now cannabis, marijuana, ganja, various different forms of cannabis, so that there's less confusion, we'll talk about cannabis. Now when a lot of people get influenced by sadhu smoking ganja in a chillum, or they see Shivas t-shirt or Shivas posters with chillum in their hands, smoking marijuana, smoking ganja, they get really inspired. They think that is the pathway to spirituality. This is what is getting them their enlightenment, is altering their state of mind for that experience, and Shiva himself has recommended this. So here in our culture, marijuana, ganja, cannabis is known as, or is called as, very fondly called as Shiva ka prasad, which means Shiva's blessing. So when you go to a temple, after a long walk to that temple, once you've prayed, the priest will always give you something sweet to eat. This will energize you. It's like a blessing basically from the gods, saying that here, this is a blessing. So they call it Shiv ka prasad, this plant. But that prasad has been misunderstood as only getting high. A lot of people are misunderstanding it, and I'll tell you Shiva's words to Parvati Ma of what Shiva said about how cannabis should be used. So all the spiritual knowledge that we have today, it's come down from Shiva to Parvati Ma, his wife, goddess Parvati. From there it has gone to a lot of other people. Everything that we know from mudras, mantras, yogas, name it, has come down from Shiva to Parvati Ma to everyone else. So besides a lot of other knowledge, a few of the knowledge that Shiva shared with Parvati Ma, he made it very clear. He said, this particular knowledge that I'm telling you now has to be given to somebody, given to somebody who's very responsible. You have to be careful with this. This cannot be given to any and everyone. So you have to be careful who you give this knowledge to. This, besides the other knowledge, few other knowledges, this knowledge was of cannabis. That this plant is a magical plant. This plant is a blessing because it can cure almost. Some will say every health problem, but let's just say almost every health problem can be cured by this plant, provided it is taken the right way, provided it is taken in the right dosage, provided it is mixed with a lot of other ingredients. So all this knowledge was given to Parvati Ma to give it to the right person. Shiva said, and these are Shiva's words, Shiva said, you take this plant and you give it to somebody who keeps laughing all the time, will continue to keep laughing. You take this plant and you give it to a warrior, Yodha. Yodha means a warrior. You give it to a warrior, and this warrior will bring down an elephant holding its tusk. That's how powerful this warrior will become. But if the right dosage, if the right knowledge is not there, this powerful warrior will become that funny guy, and with the right dosage, that funny guy can become that warrior. So you have to be careful who you give this knowledge to. So in earlier times, the one who had this entire knowledge of how to use it for spirituality, for health reason, for battle, I'll explain more on how battle also it was used, for various different reasons. How do you use it, what you mix? This person was called a Bhangi. Bhangi. Bhangi is a term given to somebody who has the knowledge of what he needs to do with this plant. So the cannabis, when you dry it, it becomes marijuana. When you break the flower and you use it, it becomes bhang. Bhang is what here in India we use for various different cultures, very different festivals. You enjoy that drink, but basically most of them are having it to get a high. So somebody who has the knowledge of Bhang, this person was known as Bhangi. In today's time, somebody who's not right in the head, somebody who's filthy, who's badly dressed, somebody who's talking rubbish or is drunk or is high is termed as Bhangi. This guy is Bhangi. So that term, which was so important over a period of time, with the knowledge of cannabis, that term has also become so polluted, so badly used. Bhangi, this guy is a Bhangi, like looked down upon. But in earlier times, this Bhangi was a term given to somebody who knew what to do with this plant. This man had the knowledge, okay, you're looking for a spiritual high, your heartbeat is too fast, okay, this is the dosage that you take for your heartbeat to start becoming slow now, for you to do the practices that you're doing. It wasn't that they were just sitting down and smoking that ganja over then saying that, okay, now we're talking about Shiva. No, that's all rubbish. That's what's done in today's time. So in earlier times, even for battle, this Bhangi was always taken along, because if you get a battle wound, he knew exactly how much dosage to give you so that this blood that is being flown now so freely, which is going to eventually take your life away, will slow it down. So let's say like how we have medics, when you go for battle, you have medic, each soldier has been given a medical pouch to carry. So each soldier was given those dry leaves that, okay, if the Bhangi, the medic cannot reach you in time, you've got this, then you smoke it. Otherwise, bhang is mixed. This bhang, which is a form of cannabis, is mixed with a lot of different things. It's mixed with almonds. It's mixed with different herbs. It's mixed with pepper, black pepper. Lot of other ingredients go in it. A paste is made, and then you have it with milk, because you need to have it with some form of fat. So you have it with milk, the right amount of milk also, not that there's a big glass and you put a little bit. So this guy knew exactly how much to give, keeping in mind what injury you have, what is your weight. If it's for spiritual practices, then what are the other illnesses that you have, what is your body weight, what time you're supposed to take it, was all taken into consideration, and then this plant was used for the reason. Not just for illness, not just for spiritual practices, not just for battle, but for various different reasons this plant was used. That's why Shiva said that you have to be careful who you give this knowledge to. But what has happened over a period of time, Parvati mom never went and gave it to the wrong person. She gave it to the right person. But like Chinese whisper, it just goes on and on and on. Eventually that main meaning of that word is just lost. That's exactly what has happened with cannabis. So in today's time, when so many people are seeing sadhus do it, sadhus are having a good time smoking their chillums, and they're smoking their pot, and everyone thinks that, yeah, this is the right way to do it. Those guys are addicted to it. Those guys are addicted to it. Shiva has never said that, okay, you smoke this and I will meet you, and you are closer to me and I'm closer to you. No. The various other practices that you do, only for certain people whose heartbeat, that means your blood pressure is always so high that whenever you're sitting down to practice, you cannot, it's difficult for you to slow down your breath, slow down your heartbeat, because all this is of the body. The soul doesn't need all of this. Then the Bhangi would advise you that, okay, this is the amount of marijuana you need to take, cannabis you need to take, bhang you need to take, how you need to take. Are any of them doing it for those reasons? No. So even in today's time, a lot of big sadhus, a lot of big spiritual gurus are going up to them, who these sadhus also look up to, are going up to these sadhus and telling them to stop doing what they're doing so openly in front of people, because people are getting inspired by it. In today's time, you've got t-shirts with Shiva holding a chillam, you've got paintings, you go to Goa, it's filled with all these things. So people start thinking, especially a lot of people in the West also start thinking, this is the way to spirituality. No, so that means, let's say if Shiva was worshipped in Colombia, they would have shown Shiva snorting some coke. So it's been taken as a wrong, just it's like a publicity thing, marketing stunt done by peddlers for you to come and start buying stuff from them. I mean, get real about it. So even the cocoa leaves from which cocaine is made, you ask the farmers in Colombia and they'll tell you, in earlier times when the farmer would be working hard in the field, this leaf was like a blessing. You eat this leaf, you chew onto this leaf, and it energizes you. You mix it with a whole lot of rubbish, and that's how cocaine comes in. That's how so many people are going nuts. So this is why cannabis, yes, in spirituality it is used, but yes, it is used in every other form. This is why it is called Shiva's blessing. So even if it alters your mind, then even tea is altering your mind. So many people are addicted to having their tea. Their day does not function. Some people cannot go to the loo if they've not had their first cup of tea. Coffee is doing the same thing. It's altering your mind. You're feeling lazy, you're feeling lethargic. You have a cup of coffee and there, boom, you're fine to do what you need to do. But then marijuana obviously has taken another turn altogether. Every time you ban something, it becomes more desirable. Let people have it, let people do it. It will become like tea and coffee, easily available. Not everyone's going to do it. Not everyone's going to misuse it. So when people ask me, do you recommend it? No, I don't recommend people. I don't even tell them that, okay, you should smoke. No, I don't know that, okay, what is your body weight? What are the illness that you have? And this is the dosage that you need. That Bhangi term is gone. Like how I said, people use it so loosely that knowledge has also been lost with that term. So no, I don't recommend people for that. So every time people ask me, oh, you definitely do it. Why? Because I have tattoos and long hair and I wear bandana? No, I don't do it anymore. There was a time I was doing it, and I'm on a bigger spiritual high right now, and I've stopped doing it because I was doing it the wrong way. I'm on a different level of high after I quit doing it. So yeah, I don't recommend it at all. So yeah, all these things are great. They are definitely a blessing from Shiva for sure. If that's what you've read about it, yes. But then if you know how to use the right way, then you can definitely go ahead and use it. If you like this video, give it a like, subscribe to my channel. Until I see you again, have a good life. Namaste.